Roblox animated movies are commonly posted on YouTube. The current most popular Roblox film on that platform is The Last Guest by Oblivious HD. But what if there's a streaming service for Roblox animated videos? And no, I'm not talking about Prime Video where Oblivious once posted his full movie of The Last Guest on, and I'm not even joking. At some point, you can just sit on your couch, turn on Prime, and watch The Last Guest, which is honestly wild considering that movie was animated and recorded in Roblox Studios. So you ain't and singing, you are PNRing Prime and Roblox. What I'm talking about is a Roblox game that is pretty much Netflix, but what if it was on a platform for unsupervised children called Maro? And what is Maro, you may ask? Well, Maro is a streaming service created by Mario118118, where you can watch a selection of animated Roblox films and animations, kind of like what Scene Block Productions had done. However, this isn't a Roblox game review. This is a Roblox movie review. And I'm reviewing a Roblox film that is a Maro exclusive only. Meaning that you could have watched this film anywhere except on Maro. And it was commissioned to be just for Maro only. And to make things even crazier, you need to pay Robux to watch this film too. But at some point this movie was free to watch. But that was when it was first released into the game. That movie being December 7th by GamerJstudios. And despite the name, no, this animated film was not released on December the 7th. Clickbait. So, in order for me to watch this film, I have to do one of two things. Get my kindies surgically removed and sell them for money and use their money to buy the movie off Franchay and Mario. Or suck it up and become David's by buying Robux and using said Robux to watch December 7th. Now, children, which option did I choose? If you think the answer is the second one, then you are wrong, you dip. But with all seriousness, when I told Shay I wanted to review his movie, but I do not want to give David money because, well... So Shay gave me some of his Robux so I could pay to watch the film on Maro. So now it kind of feels like Gamer Shay paid me to review his movie. Clearly isn't the case. Just because he paid me Robux to watch the movie does not mean he paid me Robux to review it. And it also doesn't mean I'm gonna suddenly put him on a podium and treat him as the second coming of popular Roblox filmmakers. No, I'll be treating him like how I treat the other users' films I have reviewed in the past, and give my honest thoughts and criticisms. Now then, let's take a good look at December 7th. The movie begins, and we are immediately introduced to our protagonists, or more accurately, antagonists, because you guys are not meant to root for them. Seth, the leader, Chris, the hacker, Ryan, the man, and Ethan, another man. And these four are about to pull a bank heist. Chris, as mentioned before, is the hacker of the group, and so his job is to disarm the cameras, which I find dumb. Like, you already mentioned that you're gonna point guns at people, so why can't you also disarm the alarm system so that the employees don't alert the officers, or any of you guys accidentally trigger said alarm? Ethan is the only one who isn't so sure about the plan and even wants to back out of it. But Seth is pretty much like, no dumbass, you can't back out, and think about all the money we're going to get from this. And so even then was like, yeah. After putting on their masks and after Chris shuts off the cameras, that is when the boys enter the bank with Seth shooting up the air and Duncan, stop smiling, you're at the risk of getting shot, god damn it. Seth spots a bank worker and demands him to come over to him.
Xander. Okay.
That is not what it says, Seth, you idiot. It says, yeah, I have no idea what it says, but apparently this guy's name Xander. And Seth proceeds to ask him what his position is. but she tells him that he's simply a clerk. Ryan mentioned there's a way into the back of the bank, but they will still need a code for the safe. Meanwhile, a SWAT team, I think, are on their way to the bank. Cole gives a briefing about what they are getting themselves into, and you see this guy? Yeah, y'all are gonna start hating him soon. Meanwhile, Seth is just beating this man senseless, demanding him to hand over the code to the safe, which again, Sanders trying to tell him that he doesn't know. Chris suggests Seth from, I guess, some kind of earpiece he's wearing, but that wouldn't make sense because as you can see, Robloxians don't have ears. And if David does end up giving Robloxians ears, I am doing this to myself. So Chris suggested Seth to get an ID for Alexander to see if he's telling the truth. So Alexander hand over his ID, and after Chris does a few things on his laptop, they head to the back of the bank, and unfortunately for this worker here, he is taken as a hostage. The SWAT team arrive and they head to the bank. They first get the hostages out before covering the area to go after the robbers. One of the SWAT members asks one of the workers about where the robbers could be, which the teller lets them know that they went into the back. Meanwhile, Seth and his group arrive at the safe. Chris is beginning to hack open the safe, which would take 2 minutes, which is way too long for Seth's liking. But lucky for him, he brought along a plan B. And B isn't for bank, it's for bomb. Of course, Ethan protests about the idea of using explosive, and Chris warns Seth that if he uses an explosive, he won't be able to help him any further. But he clearly doesn't give a flip and uses any ways to open the safe. This, of course, alerts the SWAT team, as though Ethan and Ryan quickly ran into the safe, and sadly for Sander, Seth kills him on the spot. Ethan tries to stop this clown, but it was too late. As they're filling their goodie bags with money, the SWAT team closes in, and so the robbers open fire, except for Ethan. The robbers end up running out of bullets, which causes the SWAT team to hold their fire. It seems like the robbers are going to be captured, but Seth had a trick up his sleeve.
Don't worry. I have a trick up my sleeves.
I just said that, Seth, but go off, I guess. So, remember when I said that you guys are gonna not like this SWAT member over here? Well, this is why.
Ward.
Yeah, so it turns out Eli is a rat. And also, Ethan isn't doing too well. Probably because he witnessed a bunch of people being murdered, including an innocent bank teller and a bunch of officers. Seth and the others were able to escape the bank, but Ethan stopped in his tracks. He is still upset about what happened back there, and also this background looks very familiar. Seth and Ethan argue. Seth wants to get going, but Ethan is just done with his and pulls out a gun. Then they all pulled out guns, and a shootout breaks out. Ethan was able to shoot Eli a bunch of times, and since he was wearing armor, he ended up just falling to the ground and hitting his head on a nearby rock, knocking himself out. Ethan also shot at Seth and Ryan before running off. Seth isn't actually dead, and he shoots at Ethan as he's running. And yep, you guessed it, he goes after him. And these two get into a fight, and he also almost kills Ethan in the most brutal way possible, but before that could even happen, someone shot at Seth. Can you all guess who? Yep, it's the SWAT team. And so both Ethan, Ryan, and Seth are arrested. Oh, and Chris, I guess. We are then shown the aftermath. Ryan, Seth, Chris, and Eli are both sentenced to prison. Yay! And Ethan is also sentenced to prison despite helping in the end. Yay? Off topic, but judges aren't meant to look like that. And that was December 7th. I quite enjoy watching this movie. On Roblox. I'm still getting used to the fact that this is a Roblox exclusive film. The pacing was perfect, the animation is really good. I also love that the ending kind of reminds me of GTA 5's intro, except instead of Brad being killed, Michael surviving and Trevor fleeing the scene, everyone got arrested. Oh, and some of the characters are solid. I also do love the twist that Eli, one of the people working as a SWAT officer, was actually a rat for Seth, Ryan, and the other robbers. Like, there wasn't any hints that Eli was going to betray his team, which is what made it work. The voice acting for some of the characters are also pretty good, although I don't really like Ethan's voice. His voice sounds way too whiny.
Yeah. But do we really have to do this? What if I want to back down? S, you better make this quick. I saw people calling the cops. Yeah, it's something you shouted out. Don't you get it? This has gone too far. Who the heck is this guy? Lynn? Seth gave you money, didn't he? God dang hush money, huh?
Which I know that was the voice actor's intention, considering that is what Shay wanted for his character. But still, I think it should have been toned down. And speaking of Ethan, this may sound pretty weird to you all, but I do like the fact that Ethan did got punished in the end and was an excuse. Like, yeah, he didn't actually kill anyone during the bank robbery, but he still helped out. He still took part in stealing from the bank, even if at the end he chose to betray Seth and the others. He still committed a crime. I really hate how movies and even kids' cartoons excuse another character's crimes, all because they either help at the end or they apologize. Of course, I'm not saying a character can't be forgiven, but they should be excused either or get off scot-free. That's like, yeah, I know this person killed an infant and enslaved a village, but this man is a hero because he saved 5 people from the burning building, so all his crimes should be forgiven, which isn't how it works. So again, I'm glad that Shay didn't just let Ethan get away scot-free. Now, you may be wondering why I haven't started criticizing about the lack of blood or violence in the movie. Well, it's because it's not Gamer Shay or Mario's fault that there isn't much blood in the movie. It's Roblox's fault. And if you know Roblox, they are really strict when it comes to certain things being uploaded on their platform. Most of the time. Like, heck, I remember uploading a decal of Shez as a kid crying as his father hugs him after he witnessed his mother's death.
Well, I'm dead.
Roblox took it down, and their reasoning for it was romantic and dating. And I vomited in my mouth after reading that. Maro even made a video discussing how Roblox affected Maro. And I remember in Shay's server, he mentioned how he had to make his blood decals from red to white in order to bypass Roblox's system, just so he could make his movies. Just hope no dumb decided to report his decals and claim that the blood decals are However, I do hope you enjoyed this review that I did, and please do support Maro. I'll even link the game in the description below this video, and I'll also leave a link to GamerJstudios' channel so you guys can support him and his other videos too. If you did enjoy this review, please support my channel by buying me a Ko-Fi or becoming a member. But you can also subscribe to my channel and like this video. Any form of support helps. Thanks for watching, and I do hope to see you all in the next review. Goodbye!
%100% pure fish. Batter.